Okay, we're going to try it this way. If it didn't work on my computer, then we're going to do this on my phone. So I apologize. I'm not a techie person. Anyway, it's noon and this is Lunch with Linda. Again, have you ever said, I need to shed a few pounds or maybe more before you go on vacation, get married, or fit back into those skinny jeans that are hanging out in the back of your closet for 5 years or more, maybe? Well, in this week's Lunch with Linda, I'm going to share 10 foods that will help you with weight loss. If you don't know me, my name is Linda Heiken with livecleanwithlinda.com, and I help people live a healthier, wealthier life while they design the lifestyle they were meant to live. Now, I am using my phone here, and I'm also using notes because I want to make sure I give the correct information. So if you see me wandering off with my eyes, it's just because I'm checking out my notes. So I want, personally, to shed a few pounds, and so I went looking for foods that might help me do that. And I found 20 of the most weight loss friendly foods on earth that are actually supported by science. So today I'm just going to share 10 of those with you. I don't have enough time to do all 20, but if you want to know all 20, I have a freebie that I can send off to you, and you just have to put down in the comments below, type in freebie, and I'll make sure I get that off to you. So one of the things that you need to do when you're trying to lose weight is stop thinking of it as a diet. Stop thinking of it as you're going to deprive yourself of all that stuff. You're actually creating a new lifestyle, and you're going to be creating new habits, ones that are not only going to get the weight off, but then keep it off. Once that's the whole ultimate goal, to make different choices and to make healthier choices. And right now, kind of hanging out with the fridge a little bit more than we may normally do, it's a really good time that we can maybe start these new habits. And going to the grocery store and choosing the right foods is a good way to start. So, number one on the list, it should be fairly obvious, but it's whole eggs. So whole eggs have actually made a comeback. And they're one of the best foods to eat if you need to lose weight. They're high in protein and fat, and they're very filling, and there's lots of different ways you can cook them so you don't get bored. Keep in mind that eating a lot of eggs can raise your levels of bad LDL or cholesterol in some people, so make sure you always check with your doctor first when you're doing any kind of dietary changes. And interestingly, almost all the nutrients in an egg comes from the yolk, or the yellow part. And it's also the tastiest, in my opinion. But that's where all the fat content is. And so eggs are definitely number one on the list. Number two on the list is leafy greens. Now, I know, rabbit, I get it. But they can be served in many different ways. You can add all kinds of different things to them that are weight loss friendly. Keep in mind the salad dressings that you're using and the croutons, they all add extra useless calories. Calories that if you're going to go the calorie route as opposed to a low carb route, calories add up and they sneak in there. So just be mindful of those. Their salads, lettuce, leafy greens are low in calories and carbohydrates. They're nutritious and high in many vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals, which include calcium, and they're also loaded with fiber. So when you're making your salads, again, just watch out for those secret sabotagers. Number 3 on my list is fish. Fatty fish like salmon is loaded with high quality protein, healthy fats, and various important nutrients. Fish and seafood in general can also supply a significant amount of iodine, which is necessary for proper thyroid function. And this is important to keep your metabolism running at its best. Now, I'm not sure who is watching here and what age category you were in, but I can remember the fun-filled part of the day was when we used to get margarine in a bag, and it used to have this red stuff in the middle of it, and it was a fight for us kids to see who could get the bag so that they got to squeeze it all and mix it all up. That was actually iodine in the margarine. So Who knew? Hi, Liz. Thanks for popping in. Hi. Okay, number 4 is cruciferous veggies. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. I tried to look it up, what the definition of it meant, and I couldn't come up with any. All I could come up with that it's other than what was a cruciferous veggie. And so you want to know what the actual definition is, you're on your own because I couldn't find anything. But if you do, maybe put it in the comments so I know for the next time. But anyway, these vegetables include broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and even Brussels sprouts, which you will never find on my plate. I'm sorry, you may be a fan. This girl is not a fan of Brussels sprouts. But they're high in fiber and they tend to be incredibly filling and generally contain a decent amount of protein. So adding them to your healthy food list is not only an excellent weight loss strategy, but it also may improve your overall health. So number 5, as we get halfway through this list already, lean beef and chicken breasts. And yes, meat. I say yay, other people say nay. It's all choices, right? But if you are a meat eater, I know it's been blamed for various health problems despite a lack of good evidence to back these negative claims up. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to debate the pros and cons of meat or not to eat meat, but even moderation, right? Everything in moderation. I think it was an old Jenny Craig TV commercial. Say just step away from the table. It was push away. And basically it meant step away from the table. So everything in moderation, including your meats. Now, here's another controversial one, but I'm learning a little bit more. I actually learned some new information. It's potatoes. And white potatoes seem to have fallen out of favor for some reason, but they've got several properties that make them a perfect food, both for weight loss and for optimal health. They contain an incredibly diverse range of nutrients, a little bit of almost everything you need. They're particularly high in potassium, and most people don't get enough potassium. So, the potato actually plays an important role for that. It also helps for blood pressure control. And I recently learned that actually eating the smaller potato as opposed to the bigger one is actually better for you than the large one. That was my new thing that I didn't know until about a week ago. Sweet potatoes, turnips, and other root vegetables are also really excellent. Number 7 is beans and legumes. And a lot of people have problems digesting beans and legumes. Weight loss. I'm personally not a big fan of the bean, except for maybe the ones that come in a can and they say deep brown and they're covered in maple syrup, which does not belong on this list, just letting you know, but I'm just saying. Or sometimes I'll do just a green bean, but for the rest of the beans, lentils, black beans, kidney beans, they're high in protein and fiber, and they make you feel fuller. And number 8 is soups. So look, once again, soups are mentioned. If you got a copy of my resource, Diets and Lifestyle, 6 Processed Foods You Can Actually Eat from a week ago, then soups also mentioned on there. So even a soup does not have to be homemade. It can just be a processed food, but it will help you lose weight. And actually the best kind of soup to make is to take your leftovers from the night before, add some water or some low sodium chicken broth or beef broth, whatever you've got going on, and that will make an awesome healthy soup that will make you feel fuller and thereby helping you to lose some weight. Just make sure you don't add a lot of fat to your soup, such as cream or coconut milk, because that can significantly increase the calorie content. All right, number 9, cottage cheese. Again, you're never going to find this on my plate, but this top 10 is not about me, it's about you. So if you like cottage cheese, it's really high in protein, and calorie for calorie, it's mostly protein with very few carbs and very little fat if you're watching your fat. Me, I'll stick to Greek yogurt and get the same benefit. But for those of you who like cottage cheese, again, you can mix it up. You can add veggies, you can add fruit. You can kind of keep it a little bit of a variety going on. Because that's, if we get bored, we're not going to stay with it. If all you feel like you're eating is celery sticks and lettuce, you're going to get bored and you're going to not succeed. But if you can take some of these foods, mix them up, make them in a different variety of ways of cooking them or eating them or dressing them up, everything like that, that little bit will help you to stay with whatever program you decided to go on. And number 10 is avocados. I've just started liking avocados. My granddaughter will sit there and peel it and eat it whole. I like to mix mine up. So they're a unique fruit, though. They're very low in carbs. They're loaded with fat, and they're healthy fats. They also contain fiber, potassium, and even though it doesn't look like it, they have a lot of water in there. So for me, slicing it up, putting it on a salad or making guacamole, which is good because that's healthy. And I cheat when I make my guacamole. I just add a little bit of salsa sauce. So the tomatoes and onions and peppers are already there. It's easy fix. It's a great way to add healthy fats to your healthy eating. And I'm going to throw in one extra because I think this is a really good benefit. And so number 11 is apple cider vinegar. Now there's a couple different ways you can buy it. One is called Mother, and I think it has the best benefits for you as a prebiotic. I personally take apple cider vinegar, a little teaspoon every day, mix it in water. Please don't drink it straight because it's really bad for your throat. But it's now really, really popular in the healthy community. So if you take it at the same time as a high carb meal, it'll help increase the feelings of fullness, because if you know anything about carbs, you know that they're a very quick energy, so you burn it off very quickly, which means you get hungry. Proteins and fat stay in your system longer, tend to make you feel fuller over a longer period of time, where your carbs burn up very quickly. So taking apple cider vinegar with a carb enhanced meal will help stretch those carbs out a little longer. This apparently was a really quick one. I'm at the end of my top 10 and the extra little bonus one. And like I said earlier, if you want to get a list of the whole 20, just shoot me a comment down below and say freebie, and I'll get that off to you as soon as I can. So I hope you got some value from this. And if you want to know more about what else I'm doing or how I'm living a healthier, wealthier life, I'd love to connect with you and we can chat about that. So until next week, I want you to stay safe, stay at home, and take care. Bye for now.